Have you ever gone back and played a game you loved as a kid, only to find out it was even better than you remembered? For me, that game is Warzone 2100, released on May 31st, 1999 for the original PlayStation. This wasn't just another strategy game, this was one of those rare games that completely blew my mind as a 9-year-old kid. I still remember it like it was yesterday. Picture this, it's 1999, I'm sitting on the floor in front of one of those massive CRT TVs, my grey PlayStation 1 is humming away as it boots up. I've got that iconic wired controller in my hands, no wireless, no analog sticks, just a D-pad, 4 face buttons and a cable stretched across the living room. Back then, games felt different. There were no day one patches, no battle passes, no downloadable content, no microtransactions, no internet updates. When you bought a game, that disc was the finished game. What you got in the box was what the developers had spent years creating. You owned it forever. One day my mum came home with a game I'd never even heard of, Warzone 2100. At the time I was obsessed with Command & Conquer, so I figured I'd give this one a go. I honestly wasn't expecting much, but the moment I started playing, my little 9-year-old brain exploded. This game felt like it had been sent back from the future. Even today it's hard to believe this game came out in 1999. Most RTS games back then gave you a few different tanks and units to build. Warzone 2100 let you design your own. You didn't just build a tank, you chose the body, you chose the propulsion, tracks, half tracks, hovercraft, wheels, even VTOL aircraft later in the game. Then you picked the weapon, machine guns, cannons, heavy cannons, railguns, missile launchers, flamers, laser weapons. You could even customize support units with repair turrets or sensor systems. Every decision mattered. Your army became your army. Looking back now, this level of customization was absolutely insane for the late 90s. Then there was the research tree, and what a research tree it was. This thing was absolutely massive. You'd spend mission after mission, unlocking new technologies, stronger armor, better power generators, improved factories, advanced weapons, electronic warfare, artillery, aircraft. The list just kept going. In fact, the campaign was so huge that you could finish the entire story and still not unlock every technology. That's almost unheard of. Then there were the missions themselves. Instead of simply clicking next mission, you'd actually load your troops onto a transport aircraft, your veteran units, the ones you'd spent hours upgrading and keeping alive. Then you'd fly them into an entirely new battlefield. Every mission felt connected. You weren't just starting over every level, you were fighting an actual war, and that made every loss hurt. Lose one experienced tank? That wasn't just another unit, that was one of your tanks, one that had survived multiple battles. That feeling was something special. And let's not forget, like, this game was hard, not modern game hard, not turn the difficulty up hard, it was just hard, even on normal difficulty. You had to think, you had to manage resources, defend your base, expand carefully, research constantly, scout the enemy. One mistake could cost you an entire mission. As a kid, I never finished it. I got stuck over and over again. Eventually, I gave up, but the game never left my memory. Fast forward all these years, it's now 2026, and I suddenly thought, I wonder if Warzone 2100 is actually as good as I remember. So I downloaded it, started a brand new campaign, and honestly, within minutes I realized something. This wasn't nostalgia talking, this game genuinely was incredible. It still plays brilliantly, it still challenges you, and it's still unbelievably difficult. Some missions took me multiple attempts, some nearly made me quit all over again, just like they did when I was 9 years old. But this time, I wasn't going to give up. After all these years, I finally pushed through every mission. I researched everything I could, built the biggest armies I could, defended countless bases, destroyed enemy fortresses, fought through every impossible mission the game threw at me, and eventually, after more than 25 years, I finally reached the ending I'd never seen as a child. That final cutscene, honestly, it gave me one of the most satisfying feelings I've had in gaming for years. Not because the ending itself was spectacular, but because I'd finally completed something that had beaten me as a kid. It felt like closing a chapter of my childhood. That's a feeling modern games rarely give me anymore. Now, if you're enjoying the video so far and you're feeling a little nostalgic too, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps support the channel, and if you enjoy looking back at classic games like this, there are plenty more videos on the way. Now let's talk about the story without spoiling absolutely everything. Warzone 2100 takes place after civilization has been devastated by nuclear war. Humanity is trying to rebuild, but a new threat emerges. A man develops technology capable of transferring human consciousness into machines and computer systems. Instead of controlling one body, he effectively becomes the machine. He gains control over military technology, computer infrastructure, automated systems, even the world's remaining nuclear capabilities. It's a surprisingly dark and ambitious story for a PlayStation strategy game, and thanks to the excellent voice acting and mission briefings, the world actually feels believable. Again, this was 1999. Most games weren't attempting storytelling on this scale. Warzone 2100 was. Another thing I really appreciate now is just how much value this game offered. You paid for it once. That was it. No premium edition, no deluxe edition, no cosmetic packs, no season passes, no £20 skins. You bought the game, you got the entire experience, everything was already there. Imagine that today. It's honestly refreshing going back to games from this era because you realise just how complete they were. They respected your time, they respected your money, and perhaps that's why so many people still remember them so fondly. Here's something even more amazing. If you're on PC, you can actually play Warzone 2100 today completely free. Back in late 2004, the copyright holders officially released the game's source code and artwork to the public. That transformed Warzone 2100 into a free open source game. The community has continued improving it ever since. Today, it includes the full single player campaign, online multiplayer, offline skirmish, modern compatibility, and still no ads, no subscriptions, no microtransactions, just an incredible game that anyone can download and enjoy. That's almost unheard of in modern gaming. Does Warzone 2100 still hold up in 2026? Absolutely. The graphics are obviously dated, nobody's going to mistake this for a modern AAA game, but gameplay always beats graphics. And Warzone 2100 proves that. Underneath those old PlayStation visuals is one of the deepest and most rewarding real-time strategy games ever made. It's challenging, it's clever, it's rewarding, and it's still doing things that many modern strategy games don't. Sometimes I think we've gained so much technology over the last 25 years, but somehow we've also lost something. Games today are bigger, prettier, more expensive, but they don't always have the same soul. Back then, developers had limitations. They couldn't rely on patches, they couldn't fix things later. They had to get it right before the game shipped. Maybe that's why so many games from that era still feel special today. Warzone 2100 certainly does, and finally completing it after all these years is something I'll never forget. It wasn't just finishing a game, it was finishing a piece of my childhood. If you've never played Warzone 2100, I genuinely recommend giving it a try. And if you played it back in the day, I'd love to hear your memories in the comments below. Did you ever manage to finish it as a kid, or did it beat you like it beat me? Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this trip back into gaming history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.